Aliolu and Ahmet, there may have been some progress after those four-way talks that took place in London earlier. But nevertheless, Mr. Erdogan is seeking full NATO support for his national security concerns, his view of the YPG. Is he going to get it? And what kind of leverage does he have?
Well, surely Turkey already has the full support of the United States in its operation with the withdrawal of the United States troops from northern Syria. Now, but this probably what exactly infuriated Emmanuel Macron of France and made him label the NATO, the North Atlantic Organization, as, quote, brain dead. So it seems that not all members of the NATO are on the same page when it comes to the threats posed vis-à-vis the coalition. For example, some of the members would consider China as a threat. Others would consider, like France, would consider terrorism, not China or Russia, while others are speaking about cyber attacks. So lots of threats are there with no consensus among the members. But when it comes to Turkey, the leverage we are speaking about, first we need to consider that Turkey speaks about the burden sharing, the same as Donald Trump is speaking about. The NATO members need to be held accountable, and they need to take some responsibility for the refugees in Turkey by supporting it. Turkey understands and completely reckon that they fully need its consent and support for the new initiative of security in Poland and for the Baltic countries. So without the consent of Turkey, this is not going to happen. So these are some of the things that Turkey might be using vis-à-vis the NATO members in order to gain their support for its operation in northern Syria on terrorism.
There's also the issue of Russia, Ahmet. Turkey has a relationship with Russia. It's purchased the S-400 defence system from Russia. That's causing concern among some NATO members. How is Turkey defending that relationship?
Well, I believe surely the question should be posed to the NATO members. Don't they think that their hesitation and their uncertainty toward Turkey, their kind of abandonment to Turkey back in 2015 when they withdrew the Patriot defense system from the Turkish-Syrian border, they're the ones who are pushing Turkey to seek other partnerships and to depart completely from the orbit of the NATO. They should be asked these questions. Now, their kind of reluctance for Turkey to buy the S-400 as a substitute to the defense system that was withdrawn from its borders and to seek a kind of an alternative to defend its national security is a kind of a normal right for any sovereign country to seek. Now, having said that, it doesn't mean that Turkey is not interested in keeping the relations with the NATO and doesn't know the Russian kind of threat to the NATO's or the NATO's concern vis-à-vis Russia. So, but on the other hand, Turkey was seeking other influential player on the ground to secure a kind of stability in the region, and that was with the Astana talk, the de-escalation zone between Turkey, Russia and Iran, and that was mainly because the NATO members were completely inactive. They were completely uncertain about the situation there. There wasn't any kind of a clear policy. The fluctuation of the policy urged Turkey to come closer to Russia. Now they need to kind of recalibrate their strategies in order to keep Turkey in the orbit. Otherwise, Turkey is free to look for partnerships and still keep communications with the NATO, with Russia, with any party along for its own national interest, I believe.
Ahmet, thank you. Ahmet Aliolu there, our editor-in-chief.